Hello YouTube, we are back in the reptile room, the one fish tank in here. I'm almost embarrassed to say this. I've never kept Electric Blue Acara before, but we picked some up from Aquarium Co-op, and they've been cruising around our 125 and they're absolutely lovely, and we are here to learn all about them.
Yay.
All right, so I'm smart enough to know which one is the Electric Blue Acara if it's not obvious to anyone. Although the Geos are pretty too, but they're definitely not electric. So where do these come from?
So these guys, just to be clear, they're derived from the blue acara. So that's what they are. They're just bred for color. And the blue acara are native to Colombia, Trinidad and Tobago, Venezuela, and they were introduced to Australia and Indonesia. So they're kind of all over the place.
So let's get the care out of the way first. So water parameters, food, what are we feeding them?
So these guys are rock solid, pretty much as rock solid as fish get. And so parameters for them are going to be pretty simple, like any other South American cichlid.
Wait. You didn't say the scientific name.
Oh, I didn't. So scientific name for these guys is either Equidens pulcher or Andenicara pulcher. And that's just the blue acara. Again, there is no specific name for the electric blue acara. It's the same as the blue acara. They've just been bred for a very long time for that amazing color. So they are a man-made fish, but I wouldn't consider them a completely man-made fish. They're just bred to look like that. So, and parameters for these guys are really easy. Stays in line with everything you're used to hearing for South and Central American cichlids. Temperatures can be like 75 to 80, right in that. They'll be comfortable anywhere in that range, and pH can be anywhere from like 6 to high 7s. I've kept them myself at like every pH. I've had them all over the place, and I'm not gonna lie, they thrive in everything. They're just so adaptable and such hardy fish that it almost is upsetting because it's hard to kill these guys. And so you will notice that they can put up with a lot before they start to stress out or show any signs of having problems. They're just a really, really great hardy fish that I think everyone should keep.
Now, for tank mates, we've got a whole slew of fish going on. But before we get to tank mates, since I'm thinking about it, what would you say? I see a lot of people that are like, you can keep a pair in a 30. And to me, that just doesn't seem right. What would you put these as minimum tank requirements?
Minimum 75 for these guys.
Like, not even a 55?
No, I wouldn't even do a 50. Well, you could do a 55 if you had a pair. If you want to keep, a group of them, that extra depth in the 75 makes a big difference because you can get a lot more, I think you can get a lot more plants, a lot more hardscape in there, and they have some more line of sight breaks, which helps. I wouldn't say they're aggressive towards each other. I've kept as many as 10 together in a tank, and a few males and, quite a few females. Never had an issue. I never had any bullying. There's a hierarchy for sure, but it almost was like so well known that there was never anything tested. I had one dominant male that ran the tank, and the rest of them just kind of fell in line, and everybody was very peaceful with each other. The craziest you'll see these guys be is when they're spawning, and I don't even consider them to be super aggressive when they spawn. I really just think that it's them defending their territory. They really don't like to even leave the small radius that they have their eggs in, so they're excellent parents. Really, really good parents.
All right, so tank mates, obviously I have some of my corridors in here because that's just a requirement.
Yes, there's quite a few of them in there.
But as you can see, there's a lot of shoaling, a lot of schooling going on in here. So as far as tank mates go, is it basically, if it doesn't fit in its mouth, it's good to go?
Yeah.
Or can they even go with small fish?
I have had a lot of success keeping them with smaller tetra. And when I say smaller tetra, I don't mean nano fish. I mean like, there goes a turtle. I mean like inch to inch and a half. They're not going to mess with it unless they're starving. So if you're starving your fish and you want to keep small tetra with them, you're going to have issues. If you are feeding your fish regularly and you have a healthy tank, you could absolutely keep them with I kept them with emperors, and I'd throw the emperors in when they were young, and never once did I see them go for one or bully them or do anything. I say these fish are rock solid, and I think they're rock solid as far as compatibility goes also. They really don't care, small, large, whatever. They run the whole gambit. You can keep them with pretty much anything. Now, I will say, disclaimer, it does have a lot to do with the personality of your individual fish. So I like to make these blanket statements on these species that I've kept and raised and I trust, but you still have to keep an eye on things to make sure you don't have that one jerk in the group.
So the smallest fish we have them on are in here with their autosinkless, and they don't even bother them.
And the tetra, we do have a Nigadagua in there, and that's
one lonely guy.
Yeah, one lonely Nigadagua, and they don't give one hoot. They don't care about anybody. They really just care about food. These guys are pigs.
And we have hatchetfish, the redmouth headstander, which has been such a joy, an unexpected joy. There's the Cupid cichlids in here. Remind me on the pikes.
Those are the Crenocichlid notophthalmus.
And then the geos.
The geos are Satanoperca leucosticta.
And I just want to brag about this tank for a second.
Pretty nice.
There are so many different shoals of fish in here, and you can see they all kind of hang out. The hatchetfish hang out together, the geos hang out together, the cupids hang out together, the pikes hang out together. And this is why I say community aquariums are just the best.
And I want to point this out also. This is something I've bred a lot of Electric Blue Acara, which I feel like isn't even necessarily fair to say because they breed themselves. If they're comfortable and you have a male and a female, you're going to have babies. But
now, real quick, are they substrate, cave, mouth brooders? What are they doing?
They are going to lay right on a flat surface. Like anything that's flat, they're going to lay on.
So a substrate spawner then, basically.
Yeah, but then the thing is, I've also seen them lay on leaves and they'll move stuff around, like kind of like certain mouth brooders have done. Like I've kept Bujerkina vittata and they used to lay on eggs and move them around. These guys are very similar. They just do whatever works, I think. But yeah, for the most part, a rock is what it's going to be for them. These guys are already eyeballing a rock. I've also noticed, just because I've kept so many and bred so many, that they do better spawning in community tanks. I've tried to remove them and spawn them in their own individual, like 20 long or 20 whatever, 20 high. It didn't work. They really didn't do anything but sit there and stare at me when they were in the smaller tank. The minute I put them back into the larger tank, they spawned within days. So I think that for them, they don't mind the chaos around them. They'll make it happen no matter what.
Yeah, honestly, the difference that they've made in this tank, it Huge. Just makes everything more active. All the other fish are extremely more active.
Yeah.
They're like, we're in charge, we'll protect you. Because the Cupidos, these guys never came out.
No.
The Geos, they would come out, but now they're just out all the time.
Everything, I think we have enough going on in here. Like he was saying, we have enough shoaling going on that all of these fish feel so confident that nothing's going to hurt them that they're all out. Like all of them are just out. And Electric Blue Acara, that's another great thing. They're going to be out. They're going to be in your face. They want attention. They want food. They want you to look at them because they want you to feed them. So you're never going to see them hiding. If they are, that is a bad sign. You probably have an issue.
Put your hand up to the glass. They don't care. They don't run. I mean, just to try to scare them, right? Like sometimes when you put your hand on the glass, like the fish just run away.
This male right here just bit my finger about 10 minutes ago.
A little love tap.
They want food. Yeah, go ahead. Go for it. They don't care at all. This is how all of mine were. All of them were like this. Even the leucosticta are like, yeah, I'll take some food at this point. There you go, guys. Yeah, they're amazing fish. I have nothing bad to say about them. Other than the fact that, like a lot of fish that are that hardy and that common, because they are regularly available, they get treated very poorly a lot of the time. And the supply chain's not kind to them because I think they know they can put up with a lot, so they're not shipped well, but they survive. And then you see specimens that just aren't as beautiful. We are very fortunate to have this trio because these are almost perfect examples of what I would want an Electric Blue Acara to be, are these three right here. So I'm really stoked. Thanks, Corey. Like, these are great fish. They're great fish.
Okay, so I'm going to assume these are pretty much omnivore, probably leaning towards carnivore. But as far as diet, what are we feeding them?
That is correct. So they're omnivores, but they do like a lot of protein in their diet. So like many of the fish that I keep, I've always loved to give mine bug bites. I like to give them live worms of different types if I can. I like to give them frozen bloodworms and frozen brine shrimp. They will eat anything. I've also fed them baby dubia roaches. So these are the kind of fish that if it can comfortably and safely fit in their mouth, they'll eat it. I've also seen them eat green beans. Like they'll really eat anything. But for the most part, their diet consists of like frozen bloodworms and bug bites. It's a big staple for them. I always find they get great color from those things, and they seem to spawn readily and do the best with that. Like lots of protein.
And if you want to talk about a great fish for breeding for profit, since these are so easy to breed and so profitable, I know you've shown me videos of you used to community spawn them. Have you ever had any luck breeding for profit?
So I actually bred many, many generations of Electric Blue Acara, and I was fortunate to live in an area where we had multiple local fish stores. I had really good relationships with my local fish stores, and so I could regularly take my babies in. I could either get paid out or I could get credit, which let's be honest, I always got credit because I was always getting something else, and they already knew that, so they probably were like, haha, sucker. They saw me coming. They knew that it was going to go right back to the store. But yeah, they definitely are a fish that is a wonderful species to breed for profit, especially now because the price point on these guys in the last 4 or 5 years has gone from about $8 a piece to $20 a piece, and that's for like Petco fish. So when you see the nicer ones bred by hobbyists, those are going to even, I mean, I've seen them run up to like 30, 40 bucks.
I would like to note that Dan has these for $14 right now,
Yeah,
which
and
is crazy
They're
cheap.
good ones. So
Really cheap.
yeah, that is very cheap. That's an excellent deal. If I saw that myself, I would definitely buy some if I had not been fortunate enough to get these guys. So I think it's a really smart fish because size-wise, they get to be about 4.5, 5 inches. I know people say they get, you know, oh, the males will get 6, 7 inches. Like I said, I've kept hundreds of these things. I've never seen a male get bigger than like 5, 5.5 inches. So perfect size, females stay like 4, usually right around there. And perfect size fish, beautiful fish, great temperament, easy to feed, easy parameters. Like I said, I don't find one issue with this fish other than sometimes they can be treated poorly because of how awesome they are, which, you know, it happens, sadly.
There you go, folks. The Electric Blue Acara. We got discount codes for Dan's Fish and the West Spot down below if you want to pick these fish up or anyone else. Again, this is just a 125-gallon kind of South American community tank, and everything just works really well in here. So thank you for the information, Chelsea. And we'll see everyone in the next video.
Bye, guys.